Hey everyone, Rick here with Rick's 1/3 scale models with a quick review on a project I got. So this is going to be on the Hobby Boss Leopard 2A4. It's an older kit, but let's take a look at it and kind of evaluate it. So inside the box there's not a lot of parts, but they do have the standard kind of way Hobby Boss goes about it. You're going to have your instructions. Pretty well detailed, no major issues that I can see in going through it. I built a couple of other Hobby Boss Leopards, not the A4, but the A6s, and this looks pretty much identical. You're going to have your list of sprue sheets, and then you start building on the lower chassis. Here's kind of the overall view of that, the bogey wheels, going through all your different steps. These instructions are actually pretty clear, and nothing that looks confusing in comparing parts to the instructions. Going about finishing up the lower chassis, not a lot of parts. Some of the pictures really distorted. These aren't that large on the actual model, but in the picture it looks pretty intense. Going into the turret build, quite a few parts in the lower backside of the turret. But all of it looks like it's going to go together pretty smoothly. One of the things I like about this kit is some of the other companies who build the A4, the tube does not elevate or depress where the Hobby Boss kit does. On top of that, they have this rubber piece that sits here that actually can bend so that it'll articulate. Based on past experience with some of this product, this will be a little challenge to get it glued, but it'll look real sharp once it's finished. You've got your MG machine gun, your smoke discharge, your different guards on the sides, and then the final parts there. Pretty simple kit. One of the things I do, and I've talked about in prior reviews on Hobby Boss, is they give some great color diagrams. I save all these because they're most of the time their colors are pretty close to being right on as far as the paint scheme, and like I've said before in other reviews, most of the European nations have a very specific paint scheme the manufacturer installs on the vehicle by computer. So when you're building this is the paint scheme. Every tank's going to look the same. You're going to go about the doing it all just identical to that, and they lay it out pretty accurate here in the pictures I've compared to of the late A4. This looks about right. So let's get into the actual product itself. A couple sprue sheets. First one I'm looking at here is the this part. You're going to have your protective skirting, and then parts of the turret, your tube. Plastic itself is actually pretty nice in this turret. Some of these parts are a little on the bulky side down here, but not too bad. Down here it's a lot nicer looking and crisp. Not a lot of extra flashing to clean up. Should work out nicely. Kind of get the detail there, what we're looking at. The turret itself is one thing that I will compliment Hobby Boss on. Some of the other kits they've done, some of this non-skid installed stuff here is usually a lot heavier. This actually is pretty smooth to the model. Kind of get an idea there. Very accurately done. Looks really sharp. The bolts here aren't too high up. They come out nice. And then some of the different parts here look real sharp. You got some real good weld lines. They got a good detail on. Kind of get a close up if you can kind of see the welds there. Once it's painted, it'll come out nice, and then this will really give an opportunity to do some detail painting on that to make it really pop out on you. The next part will be the part here. Now you're going to have your snorkeling tubing here for that sits on the commander's hatch, and then some of the back plates, different parts here. All these look pretty accurate. Like I told you before, in the picture they showed these connectors in the back being a lot larger, where they're not nearly as huge in the actual model, so that part isn't as bad on the actual one. The mirrors, on the other hand, are looking real sharp. They're thin. Your tow rods, these holes are a little on the small side. but that's an easy fix. Smoke discharges are clean and nice. There's not a lot of flashing to clean up there, so really easy, and it'd be really easy to add a little chain on there and make it dress up nice. Then you have your periscope here. Your hatches have the layered steps in that the Germans have, and the spaced armor they do, and then all the connector parts back here in your antennas. So you're going to have 2 of these. This is for your suspension system and axles. Pretty straightforward go in. They don't articulate. They're just glued solid. Pretty good detail. You're not really going to see much of it, but they look nice. And then you've got your springs up here. Next one's going to be 2 of these. This will be your bogey wheels. Once again, pretty nice detail. The plastic looks sharp, crisp, no flashing issues. Should clean up nicely. You can even see the inside the little, for the lubrication point where they can access there, the little cover that's usually red on the actual vehicles. And then you're going to have this part here, which is going to be your back panel, your 2 little hatches on the rear, and then some parts for the turret. Now, the part that isn't as nice, but can easily be dressed up, will be the top of the lower hull. Pretty basic. Now, they did do a good job on the non-skid plating. It's smooth. It's not real high up, so it looks pretty accurate. It'll work out real nice. But back here, a lot of these parts are cast in, so you know, a little bit of work with an X-Acto knife, you might be able to clean them up and make them look a little crisper. But with the turret being the way it is, you're not going to see most of it anyway. So, and all these parts fit real nice together, and looking at just dry fitting everything. The lower part of the hull, straightforward, clean, no issues. Nice welds here. One of the things I did notice, which I need to do some research on, is they have these, which everything I've read weren't put in until a lot later in the newer versions. But this kit has it. I'm not sure if that is correct or not. I'm going to do some research on the A4s to verify. But they're there. The tracks are plastic. The rubberized plastic. The connection point's pretty straightforward. Shouldn't be a big deal gluing them together. They look pretty clean. Nothing real fancy. Like I said, this is another one of those. Put a little bit of detail work in there, and they'll clean up nice and look sharp. You have your, for the bogey wheels, the little pieces of plastic bushings in there so that they come on and off and can actually turn if you wanted them to. And then one of the things that Hobby Boss does, which is really nice, is they have your PE sheet. Obviously your grills here on the back, and then your license plate, or I'm sorry, your follow me is made out of metal, real high detail, and this goes on the periscope, and your sighting system here. So with this, you can dress the kit up nicely, and then you've got your tow chain cable back here. So that's that. Then you're going to have a sheet of thin clear plastic for your periscopes to put the clear lens in. And you're going to have your decals. Now, decals are clean, they're crisp. The German insignia looks a little on the large side compared to other ones, but I do know that there was a period of time when they were larger, and I'm not, like I said, I have to do some research to verify if the 4 had the smaller version or the larger one. And then the license plate, these all look a little on the large side, so I may end up using a different brand because this, like I said, looks a little large. And the last part will be that little rubber part that goes on top of the barrel. It's the part that moves. I believe it's canvas, or it may be rubber on the rail tank. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to find out. But this looks real sharp and should look nice on the vehicle. So anyway, I'm going to be building this kit. I'm actually going to do some modifications to it and make it being used as an exercise vehicle with all the simulators and all the little laser sensors and that on it. That's going to be down the road coming up. But anyway, that's my review. Overall, it's a nice kit. Gives a lot of potential. It is a very affordable kit. You can find it pretty much everywhere still at a really good price. And if you want to get, you know, a more affordable model, it's one of the better ones you're going to find if you want to build a Leopard. So I definitely recommend it. And like I said, it adheres to doing a lot of modifications to dress up real nice. It goes together smooth, so highly recommended. Anyway, that's my review. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. More reviews and videos coming soon. Take care, everybody, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.